Hello everyone and welcome to Movie Masters. I am your host, Movie Master Mike.
And I'm Geek Master Jay.
Alright, today's topic of discussion is going to be, should TV shows be arc-based or episodic? What do you think?
I like a lot of shows that are episodic, but when the rare arc-based show comes along, I do enjoy that. Probably a combination of the two.
Star Trek? Next Generation?
No. God, I was just watching one. Bones.
Bones?
Yeah, that show Bones. And no, it's not a comic book movie or anything, but it's extremely episodic in the fact that every episode there's a new murder to solve, but the storyline between the characters is always ongoing, you know?
Right.
It's more so than any other detective show like that I've seen, in which some of the episodes, the forensics is actually like a side note to the drama that's going on. Yeah, and it's really cool like that. A lot of people watch the show for the storyline and not the crime solving, as is usual with those types of shows.
Right. I like in Dexter how like each season has its own arc, or each episode has its own plot line as well. And I would have to say I like episodic shows because of Star Trek Next Generation. But even in that show, like, in season 5, they can reference something in season 2.
Right, well,
So-
yeah, it's an ongoing storyline,
Right.
but it is episodic, you're right.
Yeah. So I would say a combination of both.
It might also depend on the genre, too, because I remember watching an anime show called Witch Hunter Robin that was purely episodic, and I remember not really liking it and thinking it was strange that there was no
Connecting thread line.
Yeah, like each episode it just focused on what was happening in that episode, and there wasn't really any character development or ongoing storyline in between. Like, it didn't matter which one you started on, really.
Okay.
Yeah, and I thought that was strange, even though most shows that aren't anime are like that.
Yeah. I haven't got into Arrow yet, but I hear that's kind of an ongoing arc show.
I've seen season 1. I really liked it. It's ongoing arc and episodic based because there's something new every episode, but the storyline pushes forward a lot too. So that's a good combination of both, I think.
All right.
They met a happy medium there.
Good.
Like Bones.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get into it. I have season 1, but I just haven't popped it in. I'm kind of waiting to have a few seasons under their belt so I can binge watch it because I don't like watching.
Yeah, it's marathon. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been waiting for season 2 to end and then come out on DVD. But I don't know. There's a few shows that I think could be better if they were arc-y or arc-based.
Okay.
I think Next Generation could have had more arcs and less just episodic. Even though I do like, just you can pop in any episode and enjoy it, but I don't know, I like arcs like, like 2-parters or even, just.
Yeah, an arc would be more like a 9-parter or 10-parter,
Yeah, I think that would have been nice for Next Generation to have like a season arc. They have like a problem that starts in the beginning and they don't really resolve it until the end.
Yeah, and that's
That
all
would
they
be
really
nice.
focus on.
Yeah,
Except for like it should be like small. Like, I just watched the only 2 seasons of Stargate Universe, and that was pretty arc based, like the whole thing. Yeah, like each episode they have like a new problem on a planet or something, but the general storyline was mostly what they focused on, which I feel was a separation from what Stargate usually is. Although I've never really seen Stargate 1 or Stargate Atlantis, so I don't know.
Right.
But I know that Stargate Universe was more like Battlestar Galactica, which was extremely arc-based and not episodic.
Right.
Like, extremely arc-based.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's an episodic episode in the show.
I like a lot of TV shows, but I'm trying to think of some that have one or the other and not just like a combination of both. Like Dexter was kind of a combination of both. Like each episode had its own thing that was happening, but
Yeah, but that's more arc-based too, I think.
yeah, that's
At least, I've only seen the
like-
first 2 seasons, but that.
yeah. Each season kind of has its own
Yeah, you can't
arc.
just start
any
watching
episode.
Dexter, in the middle.
Yeah, I think season 5, where he meets a woman and they kind of team up. That was like one that was like, the whole thing was one arc. But I think all of them were kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
Psych, that was a real episodic show. That was,
yeah,
and they were all kind of like, especially the first couple seasons, like,
yeah. I was gonna say toward the end there, they started having storyline like the relationship between him and Juliet started mattering in between episodes. But the first couple seasons,
yeah, it was just every episode was basically the same, just new setting.
Yeah,
like in season 1, it was the Comic-Con episode. Yeah. There was the Dinosaur Bone episode. So there's a lot of just, here's just another Psych episode. But, yeah. So I kind of like that, like where you can just pop in any episode and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is nice to have like an overarching plot line.
Well, I think TV is starting to shift towards the overarching plot lines more so now probably because of Battlestar and the fame that it received. People are wanting more meat on their storylines than before. Whereas like the late 90s, early 2000s, the focus was more on being able to just watch any episode and not have to be caught up.
Right.
It was for ease of watching rather than holding dramatic interest, I guess.
Yeah, I think a lot of these new like superhero-based ones are going to be more arc-based because comic books have arcs and everything, and just an ongoing story. It's not just here's another episode of Arrow where he fights the new bad guy. There's a continuing threat, continuing bad guy with Slade Wilson, from what I've heard, since I haven't watched it. But The Flash is coming out. I don't see that being episodic. I think that would be more arc-based. But we have a lot coming out. The Daredevil show, the Agent Carter show. So
Agent Carter, what's that?
She was the female in the first Avenger.
First Avenger?
Captain America. His love interest.
Oh.
Yeah, she's getting her own show.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the beginnings of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, should be like, in the 50s.
Yeah.
She had her own short film, which was actually really good. So that should be interesting. It should be more interesting than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I think it's interesting that almost all anime is arc-based.
Yeah.
Like that's one of their major things is like having, especially shows that just go on, like Bleach and Naruto. They have really long arcs.
Yeah.
And that's, but I don't know if that's because a lot of those are based on the manga, which is arc-based, like all of them, because it's essentially each manga is like a chapter almost.
Mm.
So each TV show would be a chapter. So maybe it's kind of arc-based by force because, well, I don't know. I mean,
yeah, I'm watching an anime right now called Legend of the Legendary Heroes.
Legends of the Legendary Heroes.
Yeah, it's the stupidest name, but so far it's pretty good. It kind of started at one point and then went back. So now we're back at that point. It's one of those.
Yeah.
Where like you see these characters, what they're doing right now, and then it goes back.
Flashback.
Yeah, led up to where they're at now. And
like how Berserk was almost like one long flashback.
Yeah, yeah, that was one long flashback. Yeah, but yeah, it's pretty good so far. But like a lot of anime is the same. Like there's like the chosen one who has like ultimate power, and you slowly learn that. Like they seem kind of weak and pathetic, almost. Like Trigun, like that's the ultimate one. It seems like he's just a goofball that loves donuts and stuff, but it turns out he's like super, super powerful.
Well, I think that's just a facade. It's not that he's weak and pathetic.
Well, yeah, but like it seems that way in the beginning, and then you learn more and more that he is like ultimate power. Yeah. And I think a lot of anime is like that. It is like the chosen one in anime. Like Black Cat, that was one where it's like there's a whole lot of assassins, and he's just like an ultimately one of the more powerful assassins. So
yeah, or like even Bleach. Ichigo is like the chosen one. It's always like the one character that like he'll start losing for a couple episodes, but then ultimately he'll just be like Hulk Hogan it, and then
yeah, Hulk Hogan. I like that. I'm gonna start using that term.
Yeah.
Just Hogan it.
The Hogan it, and to come back like from the dead, and
yeah.
or from the brink of death.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's the staple of a lot of anime is there's the one that shines out above the rest. But I think ultimately we decided that a fusion between the two, have like at least season by season, have an overarching story, then each episode could have its own plot line, but then like sprinkle in at the end something that has to do with the overall thing. Maybe not even at the end, but somewhere in the episode, like have something that has to do with the overall story.
Yeah, a lot. I think the best example I can think of is still Bones.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's a really good example. They integrated it really well. And
give an example. Like, what is season 1 about? Or is it by season, or is it like half season?
Well, there is no like ultimate like a bad guy per season.
Right.
I guess the overarching storyline is just the interaction between the characters.
Okay.
So
yeah, because I've caught a few episodes, and it was where they were having a baby.
Yeah.
And he has like daddy issues because he didn't have a father. And he's worried that
the booth.
Yeah, and he's worried that he's going to be a bad father because of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I've only seen a few episodes, so I don't really know too much about it.
Yeah. So yeah, and that's from episode to episode and season to season. The characters are always there's always interaction between the characters like that. Like 4 of the characters are married to each other, like two couples. Yeah.
Right.
Which weren't that's not how it was in season 1. So we've seen the characters grow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in real situations, and not just that they show up for work and tell the time to go home.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah, I think I'm a big Dexter fan, so like that actually has like, especially the first couple of seasons. Well, not so much season 3. Season 3 was kind of like a weird episode where it didn't really have an overarching plotline. I mean, it kind of did, but like it was just kind of all over the place. That was the worst season. Although has the most memorable character for me. Jimmy Smits plays one of the characters, and I'll never ever ever forget his name. They say it a million billion times in that season. Miguel Prado.
Miguel Prado.
Yeah, I'll never forget that name because they say it so much.
You've seen Terra Nova, right?
Yeah, that's one of the seasons.
That's kind of archy.
They wanted to be. Like, they didn't know what.
In the beginning, it was a little episodic, but things kept trending along. But once the end, there was the invasion.
Yeah, once they introduced the leader's like son was the guy that like broke off and was doing his own like mathematical science.
Well, the last 4 or 5 episodes was all one story.
Yeah, they just broke it up into episodes. Yeah. But like they didn't know what they wanted to do. They kind of threw that in at the end because they knew they were like.
I didn't like that. I didn't like the invasion part of it. I was like, yeah, they could have not included that and would have been fine. I liked the first half of the show. I think the episode where they go to that science lab out in the forest and there's like a virus that makes you get amnesia or something like that.
I don't remember.
And I was like, I can see where they're starting to go with the show. It's almost like Star Trek. Like there's some kind of problem and they have to fix it.
Yeah.
I like that. But then they introduced the arc and I didn't like the arc. I didn't like the arc.
Well, I think it was rushed. It was forced because they knew they were getting canceled, so they kind of threw it in there. And yeah, that's one of those shows where like they didn't know what they were doing. Well, I mean, I think they kind of had an idea, but because they knew they were getting canceled, they had to shove it all in there. So it just felt really rushed. And for the first couple episodes, it was like, oh, this week it's the pterodactyl babies that we're on their land and they come here every 50 years, and we didn't know that.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, like, and that would have been nice, but like, it was stupid. I thought it was stupid. I mean, I love dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I mean, Jurassic Park, my favorite movie. But
have you seen Primeval?
No.
It's on the BBC, and it's about these windows in time and space where it connects with like a million years ago or whatever.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we can cross over into prehistoric time, but the problem is that like they pop up randomly. So there's this team that's always like, oh, we got like a T-Rex running down Main Street, you know. So.
I think I've seen a preview for it when I was watching.
Yeah, it's alright. I watched the first couple episodes. I don't know if I'm gonna continue it or not, but it's dinosaur based.
Yeah, I do love dinosaurs. So.
Oh, and I was gonna say that they kind of replaced Terra Nova with a show called Defiance on TV. Defiance is really good.
Yeah?
Yeah, really good. The first episode is online on Amazon Prime, not Netflix, but season 2 starts on the Sci-Fi Channel June 19th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about that. Really, really well thought of universe and stuff. It's like future Earth, and there's aliens have landed. They're human-like aliens, kind of. Just really, really well done. But it kind of reminds me of Terra Nova a little bit.
Okay.
But instead of being in the past, it's a little bit in the future, kind of post-apocalyptic a little bit.
Okay. Well, maybe Terra Nova started that one.
Yeah, but that I was more like industrious.
Yeah.
Industrious ruin, not really post-apocalyptic. Like more like the Postman.
Right.
I'm talking about.
Okay. Yeah, I think we've established that we like both, especially if it's integrated well. Like an episode has its own storyline, but the season, or maybe even like the show, has an overarching story.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
I think more TV shows should do that instead of one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, give us your thoughts in the comments below. As always, I'm your host, Movie Master Mike.
And Geek Master J.
All right, see you later.
What's your mother coming to me?